The clock had just struck midnight after a restless night spent tossing and turning. I finally decided to rise and quench my thirst with a glass of water. The glow from the living room lights lingered in the air. It was one of those nights when my brother Thatcher decided to send Silas over to keep me company for a bit. Upon learning of his fate, my heart shattered into pieces. Once upon a time, a man found himself in the depths of despair. For his beloved wife had betrayed him, leaving his world in ruins. Silas, who had shared countless moments with his wife over the years, found himself caught off guard in a way he never expected. Thatcher's son was navigating a challenging chapter in his life. He found himself struggling with it as well. "Elowen, I urge you to welcome him in." Thatcher had pleaded with me. He seeks a moment of tranquility. Though I wasn't familiar with Silas, I could sense that the turmoil he faced stemmed from the sting of a woman's betrayal. Our family had faced an incredible amount of heartache. It's been 7 years since I lost my husband Dorian. At the age of 60, I faced the unexpected loss of him due to a sudden heart attack. One moment we were crafting our ideal home. What was meant to be completed in a year came to a halt the following year. And then silence fell. Dorian's passing turned my entire world on its head. In solitude, I found myself wandering through the shadows of my own heart, a weight of emptiness that has lingered for years. Yet recently, the solitude has been weighing more heavily. This evening unfolded like a tale waiting to be told. Are you prepared for an adventure? This is far from an ordinary tale. This is a tale of the lines that blur emotions that spiral out of control, and the silent screams of a confession waiting to surface. Each instant of this could ignite something profound within you, feelings you weren't aware of, challenging limits you never imagined could be surpassed. If this is the tale you've been eager to experience, feel free to click that subscribe button and enable notifications. Your encouragement is truly invaluable to me. With each step, I drifted closer to the heart of the home, the living room awaiting my arrival. As I took a few steps forward, I spotted Silas nestled in his seat, engrossed in a romantic film playing on the screen. In that instant, my thoughts were solely focused on ensuring that Silas could discover a sense of tranquility while he was here. Yet unbeknownst to me, life had a different narrative in store. Many events were unfolding in a way that seemed destined for disaster, and it was clear that a single action, just one, could turn the tide. Completely, Silas glanced my way and inquired, "Did I disturb your slumber?" His voice carried a blend of hesitation and an urgent longing for tranquility. I found myself there in my nightgown, yet that was of little consequence. In that moment, a profound sense of solitude enveloped me like a heavy fog. "No," I replied with a gentle smile. "I simply came to fetch some water." In that moment, a profound sense of solitude enveloped me. I wished for the journey to continue a little longer. Perhaps sharing some moments with Silas could fill the night with more meaning. Perhaps sharing a film could create a sense of normalcy in my life. A reminder that tranquility is still within reach. "Come take a seat," Silas invited, gesturing to the vacant space beside him. On the couch, the choice came easily. I longed to embrace the night, seeking a touch of warmth and a hint of significance. As I took my seat beside him, a world of possibilities unfolded. The film began, yet my mind wandered away from the unfolding narrative. Deep within me, a tale was waiting to unfold. Silas's presence puzzled me, especially with the stranger sitting right next to me. There was a hint of unease in his voice, and everything seemed to shift in a new direction. As the enchanting moments unfolded on the screen, I felt a sudden urge to glance away for just a moment. The couple on the screen inching closer to one another stirred memories I believed were long buried. In a moment of chance, I shifted my gaze just enough to graze Silas's arm with mine. I recoiled in an instant. Apologies, I let it slip, my gaze shifting in a flurry of anxiety. I never intended to do that. Silas paused for a moment, then offered a slight nod and replied, "It's all right. No need to fret." Yet, in that instant, the distance that separated us seemed to shrink. The film continued to roll, yet everything seemed different now. In that moment, Silas and I were adrift, unable to grasp any semblance of tranquility. Though we were right next to each other, it seemed as if the void within us was a barrier, growing larger with every passing moment. That night would linger in my memory as the beginning of a journey, one far more intricate than I ever anticipated. That moment felt like the beginning of a new chapter, hinting at the transformations that were on the horizon. As the darkness deepened, an unexpected twist unfolded. Sitting there on the couch, watching a romantic movie with Silas, I felt an undeniable connection to him, as if the moments unfolding on the screen mirrored the emotions swirling between us. Even though I was simply wearing my sleepwear and sitting nearby, a quiet tension filled the air. Silas's presence wasn't soothing. It was awakening insights within me. Perhaps it was the solitude of my years that made the proximity to another man awaken something deep within me. That night was filled with a sense of confusion and strangeness, leaving me puzzled. Yet undeniably, my feelings for Silas were stirring within me. Everything began to unfold before my eyes. Not a moment of ease washed over me until the credits rolled. And once they did, I rose, retreated to my room, and lingered on my bed for a spell. I found myself in a moment of contemplation, pondering the very essence of my thoughts. It was a complete surprise to me. Drifting off to sleep with a whirlwind of emotions wasn't akin to starting fresh. The night was restless, filled with endless tossing and turning. The morning crept in heavy, with the weight of sleepless nights. As the dawn broke, I found myself drawn to the piano, seeking to dispel the restlessness that lingered within me. For nearly 7 years, solitude had been my companion, and each dawn brought a yearning to grasp onto the threads of normalcy that seemed to slip away. The piano resonated with familiarity, offering a sense of tranquility and evoking memories of Dorian as my fingers glided over the keys. I wished that this morning would unfold with a touch of solace as well. Suddenly, a noise caught my attention from outside. A figure emerged. Before the window cloaked in mystery. Once upon a time, there was Silas, who decided to take an early morning stroll through the town. Initially, he went unnoticed by me, but as the music danced through the atmosphere, he stepped through the front door and entered the scene. I continued my game, oblivious to his presence, until out of nowhere I noticed him standing silently observing me. For a brief moment my fingers felt like ice, and the familiar tension within me surged back, more intense than before. Yet Silas simply offered me a smile. Engaging introduction. Imagine him in the world, a character who just didn't quite fit in. That was truly enchanting, he remarked. Gratitude fills my heart. Truly that stands out as the most memorable birthday present I've ever received. In that instant, a wave of thrill washed over me as Silas stepped through the door. The atmosphere transformed, as if we had crossed into another realm entirely. And then he spoke in a serene, heartfelt manner that was completely new to me. What I just shared is a genuine reflection. Observing you for even a brief moment was a highlight in my recent memories. Guess what? Today marks my 40th birthday. It quickly became clear to me just how deeply those words resonated within me. I turned my gaze away, attempting to navigate the tumult of feelings while savoring the warmth of his praise. In that moment, after so many years, A feeling of connection washed over me, and I could almost feel the winds of change beginning to stir. Prepare the scene. Following the thrill of that morning, I eagerly anticipated the unfolding of the evening. Discovering that it was Silas's 40th birthday inspired me to create a moment, something to make the day feel ordinary, yet extraordinary. A spark of inspiration ignited within me, and I glanced over at him. "Today marks the celebration of your birth," I inquired. "Well then, let's weave a tale of celebration. What if we gather around with a bottle of wine and share a slice of cake this evening?" Silas flashed me a smile that was full of unexpected wonder. "Well, if you're hinting at it, I suppose tonight could indeed become quite an adventure," he remarked with a mischievous sparkle in his gaze. Then, after a moment of suspense, he added with a playful smile, "But there's a twist. You must play the piano for me once more." "There's no escape from this." With a chuckle, I attempted to dispel the growing unease within me. "Sure," I replied, "but only if we uncork a fine bottle of wine and raise a proper toast." That brief interaction lingered in my mind more than I cared to acknowledge. Emotions surged within me, yet I set them aside, convincing myself that tonight was merely about creating a sense of normalcy. It was merely a birthday, a small gathering, nothing more. But then Silas shared a remark that was both nonchalant and surprisingly impactful. Leaving me momentarily stunned, he gazed at me with that familiar pure expression and inquired, "How old are you?" "Excuse me, 40? I paused for a moment. I had always made an effort to embrace a youthful spirit, but receiving such a sincere compliment took me by surprise. A smile crept onto my face. "Oh, not quite," I replied, waving it away. Yet it was difficult to conceal the tiny flicker of thrill his words ignited within me. I found myself caught in a tug of war, torn between the comforting embrace he offered and the whirlwind of feelings swirling within me. Struggling to maintain my composure as the sun dipped below the horizon, Silas and I poured ourselves some wine and nestled into our cozy spot, ready to embrace the moment and share in the joy of the evening. As we shared our thoughts, a bond began to form between us. His warmth and attentive nature wrapped around me like a comforting blanket, creating a sense of ease that was hard to shake off. In the air, there lingered an undeniable connection, a force that intensified with each fleeting second. Within the confines of that space, a whisper urged me to embrace the evening as if it were just another typical night. But then Silas lifted his glass, a grin spreading across his face as he looked at me with those sparkling eyes of his, playfully asking, "So when are you going to join in?" For a brief instant, I paused. Then I inhaled deeply and declared, "All right, let's embark on this journey." I positioned myself at the piano, allowing the notes to weave through the air once more, yearning for them to soothe the tempest within me. With each note, I sensed a change, as if an invisible thread was pulling me nearer to him. As I immersed myself in the melodies, I discovered solace in his attentive presence. The way he cherished each note, as if it held the utmost significance in his life. What I envisioned as a straightforward celebration transformed into an unexpected adventure. In that moment, it was as if I caught a fleeting glimpse of a long-lost sensation, something genuine. As my fingers danced across the keys, the world around me faded into a haze. Every note awakened a feeling within me. Yet I struggled to pinpoint its essence. Silas's voice lingered softly in my thoughts, as if my heart and mind were gently separating each on its own journey. I found myself completely immersed, unaware of when to draw the line. As I reached out for another tune, Silas unexpectedly materialized next to me. He laid his hand softly over mine. "You're truly remarkable," he said, his voice gentle and slightly unsteady. Your piano playing is truly enchanting. His words lingered in my mind, creating a peculiar void that felt almost haunting. His warm hands over mine had a way of anchoring me even as my feelings swirled and deepened. "Come on, you're tired," he said gently, his voice soothing and comforting. "How about we cozy up on the couch for a while? I've got an exciting revelation for you." With a soft and reassuring gesture, Silas led me to the couch. I found myself struggling to grasp the unfolding events, yet there was an undeniable depth to the moment that resonated deeply within me. As I settled into my seat, my mind was a whirlwind of ideas and reflections. Then Silas made his way back to the piano, ready to weave a tale through his music. As I observed his fingers glide smoothly across the keys, a familiar tune began to fill the air. And in that moment, my heart swelled with nostalgia for the melody that had always resonated with me. It was unmistakable to me. It was the melody that had captured my heart for years, the one that consistently awakened something profound within me. As he played, a thrilling excitement surged within me. Each note stirred up recollections I wasn't prepared to confront. I found myself immersed in the sounds that enveloped the space, awakening a spark within me. Eventually, I found it impossible to remain still any longer. The tune he strummed lifted me as if it were beckoning me closer. With each step, I approached him, seeking to soothe the turmoil within me. As I approached, standing just beside him, uncertainty washed over me, leaving me at a loss for what to do next. "You're truly exceptional at this," I remarked, my voice quivering as I attempted to mask the rapid thumping of my heart. "And you're sharing the melody that I love most." My words lingered in the atmosphere, resonating throughout the space as my feelings battled inside me. "What's your story, Silas?" I inquired, my voice scarcely rising above a murmur. "Your presence is truly affecting me. I've never experienced anything like this before." A whirlwind of emotions swept over me. Overwhelmed, confused, excited, terrified, and happy all at once. As our gazes locked, the distance between us vanished, and I could sense the warmth of his breath. Gazing into his eyes, I was swept away into a different realm, and in that moment, it seemed as if time itself had come to a standstill. The way he gazed at me stirred something deep within my heart. In that instant, it seemed as if we were the sole inhabitants of the universe. All the pieces fell into place, revealing a new perspective. In that instant, it seemed as if everything else faded away, leaving only the two of us in our own little universe. As the noise of the world quieted, clarity emerged, revealing a fresh perspective that transformed my understanding entirely. In that fleeting moment, our gazes intertwined, and the world around us faded away. In that moment, everything else faded away, and it was just Silas and me standing together in the stillness. His hands settled softly on my waist, strong enough to anchor me, yet tender enough to avoid any pressure. My mind was swirling, and I couldn't discern whether it was the wine or the emotions flooding my heart. Without Silas by my side, I felt as if I might just topple over. The gaze he held drew me nearer, and in that instant his warmth wrapped around me, providing a comforting sense of security that steadied me amid the surrounding turmoil. "You need to rest," he said gently, leading me to the couch with a comforting touch. His word wrapped around me like a warm blanket, while the sensation of his hands on my waist stirred a mix of comfort and unease within me. As I took my seat, his hands hovered for a fleeting moment, and once more our gazes intertwined. In that moment, words eluded me, and emotions swirled within me like a tempest. His presence created a series of unforgettable moments, each leaving a lasting impression on my heart. That night on the couch became a captivating chapter etched in my memory as one of the most exhilarating and unforgettable experiences of my life. In the blink of an eye, events unfolded, leaving me with little chance to reflect before dawn arrived. As I slowly opened my eyes, I rose and made my way to the living room. The aroma of coffee drifted in from the kitchen, gently nudging me from my drowsy slumber. In that moment, Silas stood in the kitchen bare-chested, focused on brewing a fresh cup of coffee. He stood there relaxed and carefree, as the morning sunlight filled the kitchen. What about me? Reflecting on last night brought a peculiar feeling that coursed through me entirely. My clothes from the night before were scattered across the floor, a quiet reminder of what had happened. The recollection of it all stirred a mix of nerves and exhilaration within me. As I revisited the events of that night in my mind, a swirl of emotions left me feeling even more bewildered. What tale will unfold next? Where would I even start to unravel that mystery? Yet it was evident that an extraordinary bond existed between us, one I had never experienced before. This night, this moment seemed to mark the beginning of a journey that could transform my existence in ways I never imagined. Silas pivoted away from the kitchen, his gaze gentle and his smile inviting. In that moment, the air was heavy, filled with all the things we didn't say. As I stood there observing him, I sought to unravel the mystery of what was unfolding. What emotions were stirring within me? The chaos was overwhelming. In that moment, I found myself at a crossroads, uncertain of the path ahead. In that instant, I felt as though I had wandered into another realm, utterly absorbed in the experience. Yet, in that moment, I sensed a change unfolding, and I understood that it was unstoppable. As I stood there as Elowen, a whirlwind of excitement and confusion enveloped me. Ever since last night, everything has felt like a jumbled puzzle, leaving me searching for clarity in the chaos. Everything unfolded in the blink of an eye. The garments lay scattered across the floor, and as I caught sight of them, I momentarily shut my eyes, giving my head a slight shake. Everything was so intricate I couldn't decipher my thoughts, much less my emotions. I sprang to my feet and made my way to the bathroom. I craved a moment of solitude, a chance to wash away the chaos swirling in my mind, to find clarity amidst the storm of feelings enveloping me. My nightgown and underwear remained exactly as they had been. Amidst the disorder, my only desire was to immerse myself in the soothing cascade of warm water, seeking a brief refuge from the turmoil surrounding me. After some time, I wrapped myself in a towel and stepped out of the shower when suddenly the door opened. Once upon a time, Silas found himself standing there. Time stood still as we both remained perfectly still, caught in a moment of uncertainty. Our gazes met and held for a moment, filling the air with unspoken emotions. In that moment, uncertainty enveloped me. The turmoil and feelings in my gaze must have been clear, as I felt utterly bare and defenseless. Yet somehow I couldn't hold back the words that surged within me, eager to escape. I find myself lost in confusion. I admitted, my voice quivering ever so slightly. What we're experiencing, I understand. It's not right yet. It feels like I'm in a fantasy. Silas stepped closer, his eyes brimming with a whirlwind of emotions. We were both in the dark about what lay ahead. In that moment, I felt a surge of thoughts. Yet the right words eluded me, leaving me in silence. "Your coffee is ready," Silas said, his voice carrying a hint of nervousness. As my gaze fell upon him, it struck me how chaotic and yet oddly captivating the scene was. I was completely immersed in the present, not giving a thought to what lay ahead. As I settled into my chair with a warm cup in hand, the turmoil within me continued to swirl, sharing a moment with Silas, our gazes intertwining, recalling the events that unfolded between us. Everything unfolded in a whirlwind, leaving me struggling to catch my breath. What stories had we woven? What emotions stirred within us? I longed to weave a narrative that would bring clarity, yet the perfect words eluded me like a fleeting shadow. Elowen. Silas began, his voice heavy with emotion. What we experienced was a misstep, and I recognized that. What led us to this moment? His eyes revealed a mix of remorse and a deeper comprehension. He understood, just as I did, that the situation had unraveled beyond our grasp. Shouldn't we feel a sense of remorse about this? It was a decision we would come to regret. A moment of silence lingered in the air. My thoughts were a maze, yet at last I discovered my voice. Indeed, it unfolded in the blink of an eye. Yet something about it felt off. We allowed circumstances to spiral, and in hindsight, it all seems so bewildering. This was an error for the two of us, I remarked. A heaviness settled on my chest. Yet there was an odd sense of relief in acknowledging that we had both crossed a line. Silas paused, his gaze fixed on the ground, lost in thought. Then he raised his gaze to meet mine. "Let's just forget this ever took place, Elowen," he said, his voice calm yet gentle. "For the benefit of us both, it seems best to move on from this chapter. What positive outcome could arise from prolonging this situation, particularly when everything is already in disarray? It's time for us to take a step back and create some distance." He mentioned that there was a certain echo within me. He was correct. Persisting in this would only bring pain to us both. "Indeed," I remarked, inhaling deeply. "Perhaps this is the way it was meant to be. Perhaps departing is the answer we seek. This might be the best decision for us both." Silas nodded, a determined look on his face. "I have to do this," he said. "This is the best choice for us both." We lingered in quietude for a moment, simply gazing into one another's eyes. At that instant, we understood the significance of this choice we were facing. Embracing the understanding that our past actions, those shadowy times, were merely errors in judgment. Confronting that reality could be the initial move towards making amends, rather than pulling one another into a complex web of negativity. Allowing for some distance seemed like the most promising path ahead. "I trust you found my tale enjoyable." This journey has been filled with excitement, and having the chance to share it with you has brought me immense joy. If you're eager for more tales like this, make sure to subscribe and enable notifications so you can be among the first to discover when a new episode is released. Your support through likes and comments truly touches my heart. Your reflections and emotions truly inspire me to stay driven. Your encouragement means the world to me as I continue to craft and share my narratives. Thank you all immensely, and I look forward to sharing the next tale with you.